This is how power arrives in Zimbabwe. Not quietly, not silently, but with might, with opulence, and with a message written being sent to every watchful eye. The man inside this machine is protected by more than steel. He is protected by the full force of the state.
I, Emerson MNANGAGWA.
Emerson MNANGAGWA, 83 years old, re-elected in August 2023 for a second term. In elections, the opposition rejected. But before he was president, he was something else entirely. For 36 years, he served as Robert Mugabe's chief enforcer, the most feared man in the country. A man who understood, perhaps better than anyone, that in African politics, survival is everything.
We want peace as the people of Zimbabwe.
MNANGAGWA's security apparatus is a fortress designed to protect a man with a deep and complicated history with power, having served as Robert Mugabe's brutal chief enforcer for 36 years. MNANGAGWA didn't just work for Mugabe, he protected him. He was Mugabe's bodyguard, his personal assistant, and his trusted lieutenant. He learned the trade from the master, and now all those lessons have been poured into one singular objective: protecting himself. The men who protect the president wear black suits with earpieces on their ears and pistols bulging from their dark suits, and sometimes combat camouflage and yellow berets. It is a choice and a statement. They are the Presidential Guard of the Zimbabwe National Army, an elite unit, a brigade-sized formation created by Robert Mugabe in November 1983 after 2 attempts on his life during an election campaign.
We brought democracy. We brought human rights. We had a declaration of rights, the rule of law for the first time.
These are not ceremonial soldiers, though they perform ceremonial duties. These are fighters, trained to protect, trained to kill if necessary, trained in VVIP protection protocols that will rival any nation on the continent. Their loyalty is tested. Their loyalty is absolute. The Guard is split into 2 battalions. The first is based in State House itself, the State House Battalion, they call it. They are the president's shadow, always present, always watching. The second is based in Zivara Sekwa Barracks. When the president sleeps, they are awake. When he moves, they move fast. When he speaks, they listen, not to his words, but to the world around him. But in recent years, those who watch closely have noticed something new among his security detail: men carrying briefcases that never seem to open for business. These are not ordinary briefcases. They are ballistic briefcases designed for VIP protection. To the untrained eye, they appear to be standard office accessories, but in reality, they are mobile, discreet shields capable of stopping dangerous bullets in an instant. These briefcases offer multiple levels of ballistic protection. They weigh just enough to be effective, yet appear ordinary enough to go unnoticed. The genius lies in their deployment. A single drop of the carry handle releases the panels, which overlap to create full frontal protection in a fraction of a second. There is one member of the Presidential Guard who watches the president more closely than any other. One man whose loyalty is not just professional, but personal. Major Sean MNANGAGWA, the president's son. In many African nations, the lines between family and state blur. In Rwanda, Ian Kagame, the president's son, serves in the elite unit that protects his father. In Uganda, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba commanded the Special Forces Command before becoming Chief of Defense Forces, and therefore Zimbabwe is no different. Critics whisper that Major Sean MNANGAGWA is more than just a soldier. They say he is the de facto head of the Presidential Guard, the son who watches over his father, the heir who also serves as the shield. Trained for years in the VVIP protection, loyal to the code of the Guard, Sean represents something powerful in African politics, the fusion of bloodline and state power. When the crocodile moves, his cub moves with him. When the president travels by road, Zimbabwe stops, not by choice, but by design. The motorcade is a moving fortress. It begins with route cars and pilot cars, vehicles that sweep the path, checking for threats and clearing intersections. Then come the sweepers, ensuring the road ahead is safe. Behind them, the presidential security detail, armed guards in Ford Rangers and Toyota Land Cruisers and other types of cars. These men are the first line of defense. Their eyes never stop moving. And then the centerpiece, the reason for it all, Zim 1, the official number plate of the President of Zimbabwe, but the vehicle beneath it changes. Since coming to power, MNANGAGWA has rotated through a collection of vehicles befitting a head of state. From the Range Rover to the Toyota Cruiser, the S-Class Maybach, the Defender, and to the GLS Maybach. But his latest acquisition, this is something else entirely. The Rolls-Royce Cullinan, acquired in late 2024, bulletproof, custom-built, a V12 engine that pars beneath armor-plated bodywork. State-of-the-art security systems that would make the intelligence agencies envious. It has been called Africa's most prestigious presidential ride, a symbol of power, a symbol of pride, and for critics, a symbol of opulence in a nation where hospitals lack medicine and children go hungry. Behind the presidential limousine, the motorcade stretches on. The control vehicle, which coordinates movements, supports vehicles carrying aids and equipment. The counter-assault team vehicle, which contains uniformed presidential guards ready for the worst. Next to it is the intelligence division vehicles, their occupants anonymous and watchful. Then the Mercedes vans carrying personal staff, an ambulance also always present. And finally, the rear guard, a wall of police vehicles and outriders protecting the convoy's back. Every vehicle has a purpose. Every position is calculated. The motorcade is not just transport, it is a statement. A declaration that the man inside is protected by more than just men and machines. He is protected by the full weight of the state. But roads can be blocked, bridges can be bombed. But for true security, the president must also command the skies. The Air Force of Zimbabwe maintains a dedicated fleet for VIP transport. At its heart is the Airbus H215 helicopter, acquired to replace aging aircraft and to provide the president with swift, secure movement across the country. When distance grows too great, when international travel calls, the presidential jet awaits. A Dassault Falcon 7X, registration P4 SIM, managed by the Air Zimbabwe. This is the president's gateway to the world. Long-range, secure communications, modified for the unique needs of the head of state. In 2023, Zimbabwe also acquired new Russian helicopters, further expanding the president's aerial options. When the crocodile travels by air, he does so with the same precision, the same security, the same message. I am protected, I am in control, and I am watching. To understand MNANGAGWA's obsession with security, one must understand his history. He was not always protected, he was the protector. He served as Robert Mugabe's bodyguard. He saw the attempts on Mugabe's life. He understood intimately that power attracts danger. When he became Mugabe's vice president in 2014, he already knew the playbook. And when he succeeded Mugabe in 2017, following a coup codenamed Operation Restore Legacy, he brought that knowledge with him. In 2018, at White City Stadium in Bulawayo, the knowledge became personal. A bomb exploded near the stage where MNANGAGWA had just been speaking.
Shock in Zimbabwe after an assassination attempt on President Emerson Mnangagwa.
2 security personnel died. Members of the Presidential Guard were among the casualties. The president survived, but the message was clear: no one is safe. That day changed everything. Security protocols were rewritten. The president's inner circle was scrutinized, and the Presidential Guard was reshuffled. Analysts call it coup-proofing, ensuring that the men with guns remain loyal, remain vigilant, and remain his. But since 2017, the Guard has seen multiple forced changes. After COVID-19 outbreaks in the unit, rotations increased. After every threat, every whisper of discontent, the head of the Presidential Guard and his officers ensure that loyalty is not assumed, it is enforced. On September 2nd, 2024, MNANGAGWA made a public commitment.
My 2 terms, when they come to an end, the country and the party will move on by electing my successor. That is clear day.
But politics, like crocodiles, move in unexpected directions. On October 18, 2025, ZANU-PF adopted a resolution seeking to extend his term until 2030 through a constitutional amendment.
I'll persuade the persuaders not to persuade. I mean constitution.
If successful, the crocodile will exit at 87. But until then, the Guard remains, the sun remains, the motorcade rolls, the helicopters fly, the Rolls-Royce gleams under the African sun. Emerson Dabuzzo Mnangagwa has survived wars, purges, coups, and bombs. He served the most powerful man in Zimbabwe and then became him. He has placed his son in his own protection detail. He has armored himself in steel and loyalty and yellow berets. In the end, the crocodile's greatest achievement may not be his political survival, but the fortress he has built around himself. A fortress of family. A fortress of family and elite soldiers, of armored cars and watchful eyes. A fortress designed to ensure that when the crocodile moves through Zimbabwe, he does so not as a man, but as a state within a state. Protected. Protected by those who trust him. Protected by those he trusts. The crocodile wants to enjoy his sunset years under might and power.
It's not imaginable that there is anybody in the country who can push him. I feel very unpushable.
Rehab Mura, Sauti TV.